Greetings, folks. It's been a while. Today we are going to start up the second part of our art review of the demons from Warhammer 40k. This time we're taking on the Nurgle faction. Nurgle has the following themes such as rot, decay, rebirth, and unyielding power and greed, and lots of bells. A lot of them have a lot of bells, more similarly pertaining to the theme of Death Knell, which is what I actually named my own little army after. Death Knell is just a bell that you ring when someone of importance has died, or just ringing the bell toll for death. Anyway, back in medieval times and Western, there's a lot. It's used a lot. I forget other stuff too. I actually forgot a lot about it. But overall for today, we are going to be looking through various art off of the internet and just doing an overall study, finding certain themes that Nurgle in general has, and we'll get to it. Hopefully this video, much like the one about Khorne and the future other two gods, except I'm dreading Slaanesh. That's a monetization video wrapped up in one. I mean, Nurgle here is kind of on the border there with the weird grotesque stuff it has going on, but it's undead. What are you gonna do? At least they don't have nipples everywhere. Freaking Slaanesh. So starting things off, we're just gonna choose this little pic right here. It's just an art piece from representing the Maggotkin. I almost said Motkin. That's something else. The Maggotkin of Nurgle, pretty much just meaning that it's a separate mini faction having nothing but demons for the Age of Sigmar. This piece right here just shows you the overall gist of how the army looks, with it being pure demon, excluding the Deathguard. Generally, a lot of warping of the flesh, heavy themes of decay and bloatiness, which is common with these. It's pretty much just demon zombies that are bloated from festering wounds, diseases, things growing inside of them. A lot of that good body horror aspect. And you have the flies, which are just really disturbing looking flies, if you will. I don't think they're disturbing, I think they're cool, but that's the whole thing they have going on. Hey, wait a minute. I just realized they're fighting my boys. Khorne. Hey now, stop that. yeah. But as you see over here, you have bells everywhere. You have all the like warped and rotting flesh. Another overall theme is generally when it comes to the Nurgle faction in general, kind of like how Khorne was just nothing but pure wrath. If you're going from the 7 sin theme, with this one, the sins that are composed within it that I can grasp are greed and gluttony. Gluttony, obviously from the overbearing bodies and them actually consuming a lot of their prey, give or take, depending on what it is. But most of the time, they rather watch their enemies rot away and die, and then just come back into their lovely, weird home. And then when it comes to greed, a lot of them actually have huge themes of like tallymen and taking like contracts and stuff. They have a lot of that going on. Actually, one of their models is a literal contractor. Wonder if I could find it somewhere. But yeah, they like overbearing greed and overbearing wealth. They have a lot of copper tones to their gear. A lot of rust as well with the blades in their bells and armor. So yeah, that's just a general theme with these guys here. I mean, I really like Nurgle. Nurgle has a really good look to them. Lots of shades of green, brown, pus, like green and white, pinkish red intestine flesh, if you will. But let's see what else we can find here. Here's another one, little crazy for newcomers. But if you're a Warhammer 40k fan, you're kind of used to this. These are beasts of Nurgle. Pretty much they're just weird looking, over bloated monstrosities from the realm that from first glance, they actually kind of look like hearts, which is something I found pretty interesting when it comes to the model itself. Then there's the same theme with like gluttony and just overbearing weight, and also sitting in a pool of bile. And there's a little guy's hand there. I never noticed that. Look at him. Give him a thumbs up. Good job. Flies too. That's another heavy theme. Lots and lots of flies, because it represents with the rotting flesh just attracting all these insects and whatnot. Especially the close up here from this wonderful model. 3D model this person has created by Sven. Oh god, I'm about to butcher his name. Sven Ingevsavik Antonsen. I'm gonna just call you Sven. Sorry if I butchered your name, but this is such a wonderful model that they have created. Holy moly, that's really good. But it also portrays very well to the Nurgle theme as well, obviously. Here's another picture from various artists of GW's freelance art and hired artist crew. This is what's currently in the Demon Codex for 8th edition. It's just a giant army of all these Chaos Demons. Here's the bigger version. Then we have another art piece. These are the Deathguard, one of my favorite. This is how they look like with the whole infection going on. But you see here, a lot of like kind of butchery, ornate, like regal, barbarian almost armor that they have. Especially when you look at the ones from Age of Sigmar, heavily looking like that. Now, one would think, with them being very thick, kind of fat looking, they'd be slow. No, you'd be wrong. A lot of them are slow moving. Oh, here we are. Tallyman, see? Oh, he has a little, what is that called? Not an obelisk. Optan, little tally thing. But yeah, they make little contracts, they have all that sort of theme too, but generally, yeah. Overall, a really good theme. And as I said prior, my whole goal here is to perhaps inspire you a little bit if you're going to make anything when it comes to Nurgle, when it comes to miniatures or art, or if you're making your own undead factions, just using these for various different themes. There is a huge amount of lore behind them, so I actually recommend to get more inspiration by reading about the Nurgle Daemons, Deathguard, what the faction does, fully, and here's Papa Nurgle himself. Good job, Backleher. I don't think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I think I overdid it there, but hey. Yeah, generally, Nurgle, the god himself, he's all about rot, decay, rebirth, and longevity, but also making a lot of vile contagions and diseases and stuff that he likes to spread across the universe and watch hopeless mortals die upon it for testing. It's like a weird alchemist having fun with people dying everywhere. He gets the joy from it, because everything eventually winds back to him. Then there's this wonderful art piece right here. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. Looks like something Frank Frazetta would do. Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know who the artist is, but... Oh, Mark Holmes. It says it right there. Great job, Mark Holmes. Wow. Now, as we're studying here, we can actually see a lot of the gray, brown, green, and white, like putrid white tones that were used in here. Generally, it's a heavy, cool color. Cool meaning that the green falls onto that spectrum with a nice blend of warm, since like browns, whites, and greens seem to go together pretty well when it comes to Nurgle, in the weird triad of the color palette. I forget what the word is. Triad contours or whatever it is. Complementary colors as well. If you wanted to really enhance like the look of your Nurgle guys. Ooh, wow, look at that. Saw the miniature, I had to click on it. That's a good Mortarion. And they gave him the original pre-Horse Heresy color scheme. Nice. Anyway, aha. So if you wanted to give him a more of a glow, as you see here, they have purple tones as well for like the tongues and the warped flesh. Same with this weird, like cosmic look in there. I don't know what's going on there, but I always love that design. But generally, to enhance your guys, you can use glowing white eyes. You can use glowing blue eyes too. Blue actually complements the overall look of it very nicely too when it comes to the eyes. Green, obviously, just a neon green, kind of like what they did there in that art, obviously. What are the things we could probably look at and dissect for Nurgle? Oh, yeah, since we're talking about Deathguard, let's just quickly hop over to Nurgle's little legion. Oops. I mean, there's all miniatures, we could look at those too, but specifically, we want to look at these guys. So very much with their armor, wow, that's a good art piece. Good job. But here we are. Generally speaking, this is another photo owned by GW's artists and their shop too. It's actually what's used in the various art pieces used for their boxes, their codexes for Deathguard, cover 2, and also part of a cover in Kill Team as well. As you see here, heavy amounts of that green mist. Has a nice pre-Horse Heresy armor, I just noticed that too. And we have Typhus right here. Typhus, I always love the look of. I actually need to get his model. Super cool. But as we're seeing with these images, we get to get a good look at how they've really emphasized the overall color scheme theme from Nurgle in general, with all of its tones of like bile green and white, brown tones and green tones, mixing it all together to form a good composite, alongside like tarnished metal and rusty armor, because they're generally, when it comes to the Deathguard, they're long living through everything. They've been through countless battles, countless wars, and just outliving their opponents really until they're actually killed, and you know, that kind of whatever. Oh, this one too, that looks fantastic. Ooh, that one especially. I'm actually getting inspired myself, because I kind of want to draw some after I'm finished with my little mini Deathguard army that I've deemed death now. I might start drawing some of them. This could be fun to work on. Okay. So yeah, generally, yeah, just very like warped, broken armor, tarnished metal, kind of heavily saturated from the rot and bile and blood people are going by. Not as much as corn with the blood though. They drench themselves in it. But it just generally shows, like, if you were to leave a piece of metal outside, or actually if you go outside and look at your house or wherever you reside, if you look at all the little pipes that leave excess rainwater down through them, you can actually see how the paint starts stripping away, because that's where there's a lot of water, and then like how it rusts from the constant of flow and debris going through it. Overall, it's just wearing to time itself, unless if it was repainted, then well, you can't really see that. But you can see all like the chipping and stuff. And the reason why I want to use that as an example is because it easily connects to the Deathguard here. Same motif where it has like a tarnished and patchy armor that's started to rust. And then with all the fluids and stuff they have around them, that generally affects how it looks as well. And then for the final piece, you will look at this little picture here. Love the Deathguard. So cool. Oh, look at his little teeth. I'm gonna bite you, see? Sorry. But yeah, that's generally Deathguard in a nutshell. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of inspiration by looking at various artists and the art from GW themselves, getting an overall view of it, really, and just overall pinpointing on the various colors that are used in it. So if you're to do like fan art or construct your own color scheme, then you can keep the following that I've mentioned in this video in mind. But just to recap before we end, you want to use a lot of like putrid white, kind of like a pussy moss green. You can also use like blacks and stuff for like the cloth and like the inner linings of the metal to have a nice separation and contrast. Like tans too, you can use a lot of different various skin tones for the armor itself, or for the skin, the warped flesh, if you will. Your pinks and purples and like reds for like the intestines and other body warping. The eyes, you can use like greens, whites, and blues for a glowing effect. And the armor itself is just a tarnished, like brownish green look, like Marine Corps, like military green, but just modeled down from like brown tones and washes and stuff. You could do that. The bronze, just use a very dark bronze, give it a nice blackish brown wash, give it a little seraphim sepia wash after, and just see how like old and archaic you can make it look. Or you could dry brush it onto the armor, like what I'm doing with my guys. And when it comes to drawing them, you know, just use the same colors. Especially if you're on digital, you can actually pull up a model from the GW website and actually use your eyedropper tool and take colors from the model itself and use that and apply it to the model that you're going to be drawing. Other than that, you folks have a fantastic day, and thank you for stopping by. Stay tuned for the next 2 episodes on demon reviews and inspiration. And yeah, you folks have a great day and take care.